Okay, this video is going to go over our web evaluation assignment. So, the directions teachers and students use the information to find information, use the internet to find information. Sorry, yeah, in many cases, neither really knows if the information is worth using. In this exercise, you'll be looking for a few different websites to learn what things are effective when using web pages. Take time to not only answer the questions, but really understand the importance of web page evaluation. So, why is this an important one? So we're talking about communication this week is our topic, right? And over the last couple years, we have been watching how um, the nation, right, deals with false news and real news and not word newsworthy, and this person's lying and that person's lying, and it has really become a questionable place to find information. The internet is tough. A lot of students, especially students, take things for face value. If it was said, it was good. I mean, Facebook anymore and Instagram are like the number one news sources for teenagers, when in reality there's nothing really there. So what I like to do is I really like to have you as future educators sit down and decide whether or not websites are worth using or not. And there are checklists, and you're going to look, there are checklists that actually tell you, this is a site you should use or this isn't a site you should use. So it is getting to a point in our nation that realistically everybody should be doing this, because we tend to get our information from all sorts of places, and yet we really probably shouldn't. We should really be focused on certain areas to get our information, whether it's news, pertinent news, or facts from history, or any of those things. We should really have something that gives us a criteria for accepting that web page is giving us factual information. So we're going to click on this web evaluation sheet. We're going to make a copy. And I'm waiting for it to load, but right up here, you're going to see, hold on, I want my folder to come up. There you go. Move it to the correct folder. All right. And find yours. It should be your last name with IN2 or IN3. It's the one we created in the first week. And click move, and then click move again. And it says it has been moved. So you can just miss that. All right. So now, if you look, show, right, it should be with me. Remember, I did not, I can't share it with myself. So you're not going to see it, but you should see that I am linked in there. All right. So this project is a little bit longer. This is going to take a little while. This is more of not just about what you think, but more of a factual kind of lookup. So what kinds of criteria should kids and adults use to evaluate websites and the information they include? To learn more about formal website evaluation, click on here. So we're going to click on this. All right. I did get this, I believe it was from Berkeley, but it was so perfect. So these are some of the things. So explore the site and jot down 7 important concepts you learned and at least one question you wish to discuss in class. So this is some of the areas, right? Some of the things that you've got to look at when evaluating a resource. All right. So take some time and look, what are some of the things that are most important? All right. Here's where your question is. Now, based on your discussion of website evaluation, please complete this exercise. First, review the charts listed below, and then use the charts to analyze the following 3 websites that discuss management of ADHD. Now, you are all in education. You should know ADHD, but I'm not sure how far any of you are. ADHD, attention deficit hyper disorder. All right, so you're going to take notes on, so you're not taking notes on ADHD. You're taking notes on the websites. All right, so the first one I'll show you. All right, so this is on the, I'm going to hit accept here. This is on ADHD. All right, so what are we looking for? Who is responsible for creating the website? So you're gonna need to look around and see who creates this website. And sometimes it's right down here at this bottom of the page. So for instance, Helping Guide Org International. All right, helpingguide.org looks like they are the ones responsible for this website. All right, so that's who we would put there. When was it created? Again, go back to the bottom. All right, it's been updated from 1999 to 2021. So that's what you would put there, 1999 to 2021. What are some of the strengths that you see in this website? And how even handed is this website? Does this website have any potential for bias? So when you're looking at it, right, does it lead you in one direction or another? Are there biases towards their therapies? Are there biases towards the way that they do things? What do you see as being a bias that could be on this page? Or if there's none, there's none. I've evaluated all three of these web pages. Again, I took this web page evaluation from I off the top of my head, I don't remember where, but it is an awesome one. But I have done this assignment because I wanted to see what some of these things were. All right, so that's for the first part. The second part, compare the sites. How are they different? All right, so who's the intended audience? When you're thinking about a website, right, who is the intended audience? Excuse me. Okay. Are they looking for you to buy something? Are they trying to sell you something? Actually, I guess that would be the focus. Intended audience. Are they looking at people that have ADHD? Are they looking at people who need to get clarification on what ADHD is? Are they looking at teachers? Are they looking at older adults? Are they looking at teenagers? Who is the intended audience for the information they're giving? Then what is the primary focus? Are they trying to sell you something? Are they trying to give you information? Are they trying to help you diagnose what is going on? All right. So what is the focus? And then what evidence is provided for claims? Meaning, if they claim, 400 kids have ADHD out of 1,000, what kind of evidence are they giving? Are they giving doctors' testimonies? Are they giving? So what is making this a little bit more focused of a website? What is giving this a little bit more guidance as being a stand-up, yes, we should use this website? All right, and these are the areas you really should be looking at when you're talking to students. Before you give a website to students, these are the things that you should be looking at, right? Especially anymore, this topic right here. This one is huge. Does it have the potential for bias? We have these discussions in professional development all the time, that when we're teaching, when we're talking, when we're doing assignments, when we're giving out information, we have to really watch the bias that is out there. All right. Some websites are so left leaning or right leaning, and we need to watch where we give this information and how we give it to them. If you're a teacher and you are more left biased and you give out websites that are left biased a lot, then that could really land you in some hot water. All right. If you're right biased and all the websites you give out are right biased, again, that could lead you into some hot water. You want your students to make their own judgments on what is and what is not, good. So, you always have to watch the biased potential that is out there. All right. And then who is the audience is another key one, because, if you're teaching third graders, but the intended audience is, people 45 and over, well, then you've missed your calling of that site. So really things that you truly have to think about when you are working on these things. All right. So then not only is it critical for teachers to carefully and systematically evaluate websites they use professionally and personally, but we all need to help children and teens be careful consumers of web information. Given the complexity of web evaluation and the myriad of criteria to be considered, how can we most effectively help kids be better consumers? So go to this site. I'm going to click on it. And this is critical evaluation. All right. Answer the following two questions. What did you most appreciate about the evaluation form you reviewed? And if you could change the form in some way, what changes would you make? So what I want you to do is, if you drop down here, critical evaluation form, all right, surveys. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick the level that you are. If you're an elementary school teacher, use the first one, middle school, second, secondary, third. All right. Don't worry about any of the other ones. Just pick one. And then I want you to take a look because this is a checklist that you can use to critically evaluate a website. All right. So what grade level are you in? What are you using, an iOS or an Android? What web browser? What is the URL? What is the name of the site? And then start looking at these things. Does the page take a long time to load? If it's yes, then that could be a problem page. Do any pictures or photographs add to the information? Is the spelling correct on the page? Are there headings and subheadings? So are they helpful or is it just kind of jumbled? Is the page signed by the author? Do you know who created it? Is the author's email address included? Right? Why would you want that? Well, because if you're looking at factual information, you want to know who had it. Is there a date on the page that tells you when it was last updated? Is the format standard? You can read this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. All right, but take a look at what we use or what should be used as a critical evaluation of a website, right? And again, I should look up and see where I got this from. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will try and get that for you. But it is just a fabulous way of looking at and evaluating web pages because realistically, if you don't know what you're handing out to students and you don't know these things, again, more specifically, the biased and the intended audience, you really could end up in some hot water with administration and parents if you're just blindly throwing things out there. So I really want you guys to take time. Maybe later on you're not using these critical evaluations itself, but maybe you're just looking at some of these things to judge what is and what is not good for your students. So really take some time to work on this and be prepared to discuss next week in your discussion topics some of these areas that we're looking at. All right. Have a good week, and I will talk to you later.